Hello, everybody. We're back again with Carolyn Wester, fresh off her trip from Junior World Championships in Slovakia. How was that trip, and what was the experience like?
Oh, well, the trip was fantastic. It was a tremendous experience to travel with the Junior World Championship team to Slovakia, Tarnava, actually. And I was impressed with the quality of the wrestling that I saw all across the world there. In particular, Kevin Jackson's leadership, followed with Teague Moore. They did an incredible job of setting up the mentality and working with a variety of kids, of which they're not solely responsible, meaning Coach Jackson and Coach Moore don't train these kids on a regular basis, but they're responsible for bringing everybody together as a team, having them in the right frame of mind, putting them with the right understanding, and then having them compete against, clearly the best competition available in the world. And I think what I learned from this particular experience was wrestlers who drill, who are 100% confident in their shot, if they can fight, hand fight, get to the right position, and they know beyond a doubt they can hit their shot against anyone because they've done it so many times, stand the advantage. And I saw that from wrestlers from the United States. We saw that with wrestlers from Dagestan and Russia, and wrestlers from all over the world. One of the things that I noticed in particular why I was there about the Americans was the high quality of personal coaches that came with each athlete. So we got to see some of the best D1 college coaches in the United States there. Cody and Cale Sanderson were there. Chris Perry, Mark Perry, Eric Guerrero, Teague Moore, Rob Eider. I'm leaving people out. Coach Heffernan from Illinois, Coach Borshoff from Binghamton, and Coach Slade from Minnesota. They were all there supporting their athletes, putting them in the best frame, and having them go out and compete. So it really bolstered my interest and desire to see everyone participate in the team trials. I went to Guatemala earlier this year with the Pan Am team. That was a great experience with Pat Papalizio and Frank Papalizio. Pat was the D1 coach leading the team, and Frank was our liaison. And I could see the value, the confidence, and the opportunity for these championships or these championship tournaments at the cadet and junior level are really a good precursor to what it's like in D1 wrestling. So, it's a situation in which the athletes are put in maybe an adverse circumstance, not necessarily because it's difficult, but because it's new. And then they put it together and go out there and compete, cut weight, be around people who speak all different languages, different customs, have to fit in, have to put all that stuff aside and go out and compete. It was a tremendous experience, and I am way looking forward to my next one coming up here in a couple of weeks.
Nice, nice. So you're back in the United States.
Yes.
Keeping busy as always.
Yep, George Mason.
What is next for you in wrestling prep? Any upcoming tournaments? Where will you be traveling anytime soon? And what are you looking forward to as far as coaching some of our young, great athletes?
Well, I'm really excited. Right now I'm at George Mason. We had practices here today and tonight, tomorrow. Then I get on a plane. I'm going to Minnesota, and a group of wrestling prep kids who I work with year-round, we're all meeting in Minnesota. We're going to wrestle Friday, Saturday, and Sunday there in preparation for Journeyman, which is coming up in the next weekend on the 6th and 7th in Albany, New York. And then right as soon as I get off from the Journeyman, which is an incredible experience, I take off right away for Buenos Aires, Argentina to coach Carson Manville at the 2018 Youth World Olympics, which I'm finding out is also another incredible experience. One of the Sheridan brothers who went to De La Salle participated in the Youth Olympics, and I remember that, but I didn't really understand what it was. And now I've found out what a broad-based effort it is to bring athletes up through the process, to make them successful so they can compete at the Olympic level, or take their skill of being able to compete against the best in the world and apply it to furthering their education or their employment or becoming entrepreneurs in their countries all over the world. And I think that is a fantastic experience. As soon as we're back from Argentina, the weekend of the 20th and 21st, we have our Super 32 camp in George Mason University. And I'm anticipating we'll have a fair amount of kids here. We'll wrestle that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Anybody who wants to sign up for that's welcome. But it will be drilling match strategy and finishing up the peaking cycle for those athletes to participate at Super 32. While we certainly want to see some of the better guys place and win Super 32, for me, it's how much they improve from the year before. So the preseason, the purpose of the preseason for me is to memorialize and see what we've learned over the summer and how it's working in the competitive standpoint. We had the California Super 32 early entry tournament. A lot of people went to those in their states. Now we'll have Journeyman, and then after Journeyman, we have 2 weeks to assess and readjust and see where we are in terms of how we peaked for Journeyman, where we are with our cardio, where we are with our drilling and technique, our 5 to 7 movement attacks, and then we'll go into Super 32 and go to that process and go from there. Once the Super 32 is over, in all of this, we have Khabib Nurmagomedov fighting on the 6th against Conor McGregor. Some of y'all may have seen the video interview that I did with the UFC at the UFC Performance Institute. If not, I think it's on our Facebook page and it's on the UFC.com website. So we have Conor, and then we'll have Luke Rockhold fighting November 3rd in Brooklyn, New York, and we're looking forward to that. And then we're anticipating Alejandro fighting December 29th in Vegas, opponent to be announced. So we'll be starting all those camps. Once we roll into November, we're going to be doing some wrestling in California around the 19th or 20th of the month, and the rest of the time will be mostly in Virginia, and we will have lots of wrestling events occurring. We do have our 2018 Thanksgiving training coming up, which is the Friday after Thanksgiving and Saturday and Sunday. All of these events, now that these kids are in high school and have high school practices, all of these, you can come to one session, not for another. But that Thanksgiving is a real chance to review everything that happened in the preseason, find out what the kids are doing currently in their rooms, assess it, maybe change a little bit of what they're trying to accomplish, but maybe the order in which they use their muscles, sort of put it together and send them on their way to start, because we'll have Walsh Jesuit just 2 weeks after that. And that, of course, is the big highlight. And then we'll go to Reno. I'll be at Reno, and then always at Doc B's. And we're going to be doing some Christmas training this year, definitely the 30th and 31st at Poway, in Poway, California. I'm not sure those are up on the WrestlingPrep.com website yet, but they'll be up soon. And then we'll have something in Virginia too, but those dates are to be determined. We have to look at some scheduling and see what's going on. Just a couple of things for everybody to remember. If your kid is a sophomore or junior, they should be taking their SATs this fall if possible. We'd like them to take them when they're sophomores and juniors so we can assess where they are and move them forward. Our strong suggestion is you have your child take the SATs, hold the score private, get somebody to assess the score, and then have them focus in a class or an online endeavor around the areas that they need strengthening in so they can be beginning to start the recruiting process. This year's been a little bit of a jamble because they've changed the NCAA rules, and a lot of our juniors are being overwhelmed. Some people want to go ahead and commit their junior years, and the other people want to wait until their junior year transcript's complete. Both of those are completely acceptable and something that everybody should consider, but there is no pressure in the recruiting process, and everybody should breathe deep, ask for all the advice that you can get and want, and enjoy the process. And realize that it's really the goal is for you and your wrestler to go to the best school for them. That is often the best academics with the best wrestling that works out financially for you and your family. So that's pretty much where we are. Any other questions for this week?
Thank you for giving us that update.
And I do want to say it was great being in Slovakia and running into Habib's and Umar's brother/cousin, Abbas Magomedov, who won 61 kilograms, because it's great when you go someplace and you're around people who just, from wrestling or fighting. It's just a great experience.
Well, with a schedule like that, it's no wonder that many people consider you the first lady of wrestling. And you're providing.
They need some new perspective.
You're providing mentorship to kids in the youth, high school, collegiate, and also have your hands in the professional sports as well. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to give us an update, not only on how you're doing, but also the progress of Wrestling Prep and how you're changing the lives of student athletes and professionals. Can't wait to do another update sometime next week when you return from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Absolutely.
And, we look forward to speaking with you.
Thank you. Bye.